If you've been hiding under a rock, let me tell you that Martin has just revamped their entire standard series. We've already reviewed a few of the guitars. Today, we're also going to do a comparison between last year's 00028 and the new 00028 so that you can see and hear the differences yourself. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store, linked below for custom swag, and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So, 00028 day, it's the great comparison. We get to look at the newest model that has just come out that we've received as part of the entire revamped standard series. We'll kind of go over that again if you didn't see Cooper's first video on the D28 that is like an HD28 while still being a D28, and we can talk about that in a different video. But these are very similar to each other. It's really more of a subtle revision of the guitar model. But the changes are cool. I think they matter. And if you've been wondering, can you hear the difference? Then hopefully this video will answer that question for you.
Yeah. So everything in the standard series has changed based on a few Golden Era specific specifications. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, but fortunately for us, we don't have a ton of
the old ones?
2024 or prior models, which some people refer to as the 2018 models.
Yes, because that's when they were kind of reimagined, was the term. Not all of them, though. The D13 or D18s were done back in 2013. And then the rest of the line just caught up. But I've said when they were reimagined, I've said several times since then, I'll say because it's appropriate for this video, I used to hate the 00028. I did not like the guitar. I did not like, well, it had a narrow nut, it had a chunky neck, it had big dot inlays and Grover tuners that seemed to be ill-fitting for the size of the guitar. It had non-scallop straight bracing on a guitar this size. It just, to me, sounded like it was stuffed with socks. If you have one of those guitars, I'm sorry. I love it. I wasn't a fan. And in fact, we wouldn't order very many of them because I just didn't believe in the guitar. So this model, out of all of the ones that they revamped, to me, it really received the biggest change. And we've sold a ton of them. And so I think it really, Martin understood what they needed to do. They did it. Everybody, was receptive to that change. And this guitar has been one of our top selling models.
Yeah. So 00028 is a 000 body, 000 scale length, 24.9, spruce rosewood guitar.
Yes.
And none of that has changed.
Nope.
On these. Luckily, there's a few different things like the introduction of the 17 series that take the all mahogany that people like, say from the 15 series. But that 000
is actually 000.
Is 000 scale length. So that's nice. But the bones of this guitar, or let's just say the building blocks of the guitar, have not changed, but maybe a guitar's bones is the bracing that has changed.
Yeah, that's, I guess,
the
way of saying it.
The bones are their money. So are the worms.
I would say, see how this flies for you, since you're a foodie guy. It's basically the same recipe, but you've changed it a little bit.
So what in a recipe, what is the bracing?
That's a good question. Maybe the bracing is the stock that you're using.
Yeah. That's fair. And you know what stock is made out of? Bones.
You're going to go into some diatribe about cheese in a minute.
Yeah. So the cheese here is good.
It's Cooper.
And
Cooper's
it's aged.
The cheese.
It's aged because this is Golden Era bracing, which we have done on almost every single custom guitar that we've ever made for the store. And when you consider the price increase, which was inevitable like it is with every other manufacturer this year, when you consider the price increase of the standard series, adding the Golden Era bracing in a custom shop guitar adds more to the price. Taking it from regular scalloped X bracing to Golden Era Scalloped Bracing, in the custom shop, that has added more than what the price increase of these has been.
I'm going to institute a price increase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's changed. A lot is the same. So the differences are pretty easy to narrow down. One, the volute. Cooper's volute is bigger than mine.
I got that long volute. All right. This is the 2025. If
That's
we hadn't, if we
I
hadn't.
mean, like, you can't tell, right? But there are some telltale signs. So not all the guitars. This has been a question on like Reddit Guitar Forum, Martin stuff. If the guitar had a volute before, it gets a longer volute. If it did not have a volute, it still does not have a volute.
i.e. 18 series.
18 series. So longer volute. That's more vintage accurate on. If they really want to make it vintage accurate, it'd be a scarf joint 2-piece neck. But anyways, on the new model. A visual telltale sign, if you're in the store and you're trying to determine if you're looking at a new one or not, because size of volute might be difficult if there's nothing to compare it against. The nut is cut at an angle on the new ones. To every guitar tech's chagrin, changing out a nut just got a little bit more complicated for the new Martins. But it's a very cool look. It's in line with the angle of the headstock and that veneer over the front of it. And it's just a really quick visual confirmation. You can look at the nut. If the bottom is angled, you're looking at one of the new 2025 models. You talked about the neck.
Yeah.
So the neck on that has a Golden Era. What exactly are they describing it as?
Golden Era modified low oval.
Modified low oval. It is a very similar neck. I would say it seems to have a little bit more wood kind of going around the circumference of it. That's very comfortable, particularly when combined with the rounded edge of the fretboard. The fretboard's been thinned, so you actually have more mahogany or select hardwood in the neck, not just from the profile, but because of the thin fretboard.
Yeah.
And with that move, it's very comfortable.
It is very
I think it's a good move.
comfortable.
Thinner heel.
Thinner heel.
Vintage.
Accurate. And like I said, Golden Era bracing. The bridge has been modified a little bit, so this is a Golden Era belly bridge.
Can you tell they're both drop-in saddle belly bridges? That one's just a little difference, just a little massaged difference.
I mean, that's good for me. I could not stand the bridge on that one.
That's what everyone was asking for. Can you do something about
Change
the
up
bridge?
the bridge.
I think the biggest thing really is in regards to bracing. And yeah, while the decision with the D28, HD20 is kind of confusing to me, the rest of the line that should have scalloped X bracing has Golden Era scalloped X bracing. And like you said, it's what's been on the Modern Deluxe stuff. It's what we've chosen every time we do a custom build on purpose. It makes sense for them to do this. And the debate that's happened online has been this. They stopped doing it years ago. Well, if you go back far enough, the reason the D20 exists is because they went to straight bracing. And they moved away from the Golden Era bracing to have a thicker bracing to cut down on warranty claims. That was the reason back then. Why are they comfortable doing it now? And people have asked, well, are they going to have more warranty claims? Is the guitar more fragile and stuff? Yeah, the guitar is lighter built, and it should be. That's the goal. That's what makes a better guitar. Will you have more warranty claims? I think, and I've seen other people say this, I think that the general buying public is better informed when it comes to temperature and humidity now than they were, say, like in the 1960s.
Yeah.
And so if you are buying a high-end guitar and you understand how to treat it and take care of it and, humidification, all that stuff, then you're fine.
Yeah.
And the changes between what was on the previous ones, like with this one, scallop bracing versus Golden Era bracing, they're small changes, but I think they're meaningful changes.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about what's going on with the Golden Era bracing?
Golden Era bracing all comes down to the wood-to-wood contact and sound transfer of vibrations. If you... Am I right, guys? So when you look inside of a Golden Era brace guitar, you'll typically see that little cloth right there at the intersection of the X.
That's the technical term for it.
Yeah, it's right in there. But the Golden Era bracing...
It's a murder to spell it.
You have more wood-to-wood contact at the intersection, which is in a very key point of the top. And so if your top's vibrating, it's going through the braces and you're having wood rub up on other wood and keep the party going.
It's also a little thinner as far as the way the bracing's done.
Yeah.
Through the scalloping and the overall size of the bracing on those scallops. You know, a lot of it has, when it's done in the custom shop, it's not some milled brace. I mean, they're carving those braces, but they're following this pattern. And so, yeah, you have the 2X braces intersecting and touching, you know, and being happy about it. And that helps the structural rigidity of the guitar and the vibrations that go through it. And then overall, the mass of the bracing is less. And that means that the top can move more because it's lighter. And so that's the idea behind Golden Era bracing. And on this guitar, I think it does matter. I've demoed both of these guitars, and I think you can hear the difference. Yeah. So take a listen and see for yourself which one you prefer. All right, so there you have it. Could you hear the differences? Can you tell that we've switched guitars? And now I'm holding the new one, and now I have the longer volute. Could you tell? So, between the two guitars, I'd like to get you guys in the comments stating your opinion of what you heard or maybe didn't hear between them and if you had a preference. I again will say I think that the story here is subtlety. These are subtle differences between the two guitars. I do like the new one. I do like it. And, well, I'd like to hear from you. I'll talk about what Josh and I heard when we were recording it. Between the two, what do you hear as far as the difference?
I will be honest with you. I think they sound very, very similar, and they should. I think that it's hard to separate a personal bias because Golden Era Bracing has kind of been what I have considered the secret sauce on most of the customs that we've done. The two custom Martins that I own, I'm very excited and happy about the fact that it's Golden Era Bracing on those guitars, and I think it's only fair to bring that to the masses because most people out there are saving up to get a standard series Martin after years of really wanting one. But, you know, custom guitars, I would not be able to do it unless I, you know, worked for the store, right? So it's
Fringe
a nice
benefit.
Yeah, fringe benefit. But I think that what I hear most is they are both a representation of a legendary spruce rosewood guitar.
Yep.
And ideally with the bracing change, that one just breathes a little bit more and accentuates that tone that you get from a Sitka spruce East Indian rosewood guitar, which is already a great sound.
Yeah.
It just lets it kind of breathe a little bit more.
Yeah, so Josh made an interesting comment that I think echoes what you said and what I heard. And he said, it sounds more like a spruce rosewood guitar. It's got that scooped mid-range that creates this airy effect. There's a little bit more volume out of it. But there's a thickness that has in the mid-range that you typically don't associate so much. And isolated, you'd still go, yeah, this is a good combination. It's got scooped mid-range. But this one just kind of accentuates the things you'd expect the guitar to do a little bit more. Playability-wise, I do really like this neck.
Yeah.
I think it's comfortable. And, you know, I kind of wondered on the heel when I did the demo. I purposefully played the song where I go up above the 12th fret. And it's always fun on a non-cutaway guitar to reach up there to the, you know, the 17th fret or the 15th, 16th fret. I don't know what I'm playing. But anyways, when there's not a cutaway to reach up and to play that, and I thought to myself as I was playing it, if I could tell the difference between the neck heels, you can. Again, it's very subtle. If you never play up there, it will not matter. But if you do, you will feel the difference. Not just in the fact that it's a smaller, shapely heel, but the way the transitions go up there along with the neck carve and the curvatures and so forth. So it's cool. I dig it.
It is cool. I would like to address a couple things. We talked about it in a different video with what we're excited about from NAMM. If you're one of the people that every single day all around the world went and bought a brand new Martin off the shelf on January 12th, the day before the new ones dropped, you still got a great guitar.
Yep.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that guitar. And I like to think of the changes that are done on here as just like we said, they're subtle, small changes. We heard a long time ago that they were going to redo the standard series and had no idea what they were going to do. And so if they had said all the tops are Adirondack and all of them come with Waverleys now, like then that would be kind of a different story of
much bigger change.
This is a totally different guitar, but what you're getting with the new one is a nod to Golden Era specs.
Mm-hmm.
What you're getting, technically, with the old one from 2 weeks ago, is also in its own way a nod to classic specs. I mean, they are.
I mean, when they reimagined them, they did the perfect combination of looking at what the guitars used to be, and choosing a lot of those features. Yeah.
So, you still got a return window maybe somewhere else, not here.
But you'll pay more.
But you're going to pay more. As of right now, this is just a small thing, but they are not, as of say January or maybe February or whenever, I don't know when this is going to happen, they are not going to drop prices on the previous models. They have a price increase, so that guitar is $39.99.
You
30. That one's
3099.99. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that one. So a 0028 is what, $34.99.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. The new ones are $200 more.
Yeah,
I think across the board, unless we get into the stuff with Pearl, which has all been upgraded as well. Those have the same spec changes. Those are maybe a slightly higher price increase, but there is a price difference between those. That does not mean that the 2018 through 2025 model is now $2,000. So there are plenty of these out in the wild, and there is no Martin sanctioned all the prices are dropping or map goes away on these. So I think part of that is Martin's belief in this product and also their desire to not make a bunch of dealers all over the world lose a bunch of money on guitars that they may have received a month ago.
Yeah, thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. But I do think that eventually, like any other thing, you might see prices drop on these, but I don't really think they necessarily should. People might be trying to get rid of them to make room for the new stuff, but it's such a subtle change that maybe if you can find a good deal on something that was previous to this, it's still a fantastic guitar.
Yeah, I mean, they are subtle changes. It's a great guitar. If you are wrestling with that, I remember, go back 20 some odd years. Right after I bought my Taylor 914C, they changed the necks, and I was like, am I missing out on it? And I kind of talked to Taylor. I was like, no, I'm not. And I love that guitar and still do. I wouldn't have changed it when they made the change to V-Class, which is a huge, much bigger change than what we're talking about here. We had similar questions from people, and even Taylor saying, like, X-Bass guitars are great, Yeah. If you love your guitar, love your guitar. I think going forward, the changes are fantastic. I do think they matter in the grand scheme of things. They're the same model of guitar. And they continue to be the same model of guitar. Very, very subtle differences. So, but yeah, let us know if you could hear the differences, what you think about the changes. Are you happy with your old one, 2 weeks old one, or whatever it may be? And what do you think about the new ones? And why does the D28 have scallop bracing?
Because it did before, am I right?
So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We also did a great video where we talked about everything else coming from Martin at the NAMM show. And as that stuff comes in, we will definitely be doing reviews on all of that cool stuff. And so, Cooper, what should they do?
You're going to want to... what is it? You're going to want to subscribe.
That's good.
And turn your notifications. I got to leave that suspense. Subscribe, notifications, like, comment, share. Everything that I hate myself for saying every Wednesday, I'm saying it again today. Get on board.
Hey, we were talking about French benefits when I was young. I thought it was French benefits.
Oh, French benefits.
And I was like, why do the French have things so much better than the rest of us?
What about French with benefits? Am I right, guys?
So anyways, if you aren't subscribed to our channel, do all of those things and make sure that you are watching. Check out all the cool stuff on our website, and we will see you next time.